sa halalan. Alam po ninyo, hindi pa man sumasapit ang 2015. Marami na po nangangaginig na maging Pangulo, maging Senador, maging Pangulo. At kung minsan naman yung Pangulo nagkakaroon ng mispronunciation o typo.
Panggulo.
Nagiging Pangulo. Pero hindi ko yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon sapagkat tayo naniniwala na ang halalan ang isang equalizer. Ito yung higangan dahilan kung maging pantay ang mayayaman at mahihirap. Pati po yung mga kabataang dinadala sa resort pag dumadalaw ang Santo Papa. Pero bilang as it may, kung sumakay daw ng Cebu Pacific ang Santo Papa, maaaring narito pa siya ngayon at kasama pa natin at masaya rin yung mga dinala sa resort sa Nasugpo. Pero ngayong araw na ito, pag-uusapan natin anong aasahan natin sa darating na halalan sapagkat maraming mga nagtutuda sa mga nakalipas na halalan. Ito raw ba dahilan sa Hocus Picus? Ito raw ba dahilan sa CF cards? Ito raw ba dahilan sa maling pagbibilang? Yung ba maayos na pagbibilang o inayos na pagbibilang? Ito bang panaginip mauwi sa pamungot ng bayan? Kasama po natin si Bishop Roderick Ovidio, narito rin po si Ginoong Dave Diwan ng National Labor Union, narito rin po naman si Atty. Melchor Magdamo at si Atty. Glenn Chong. Itong dalawang abogadong ito, sabi nila pareho silang walang trabaho, pero nakamiti naman Kaya I don't think apektado sila na wala silang trabaho. Simulan natin ang ating talakayan. May mga dalubhasa pag darating ngayong umaga. Bishop, anong tingin ninyo sa sistema ng Commission on Elections? Are we on the right track or are we going wrong?
Magandang umaga sa inyo lahat. Gusto mo nang laruin ang iyong tanong. Sistema ba ng Commission Election o sistema ng itong automatic election?
Doon tayo sa automated election dahil sabi, tuloy pa rin yun.
Yan po. Alam niyo po, ngayong CBCT meeting last week, may mga 25 bishops ang lumagda sa isang pahayag na ibinigay namin sa COMELEC. Bawat commissioner binigyan namin. At dito po ay inilagay na namin ng 25 bishops na ito ang aming mga iniisip una sa lahat. Yung nagdududa kami, bakit ang bilis-bilis ng pag-approve nitong resolution nila na kunin ang Smartmatic. At mga unholy hour pa, December 23, December 29, na dapat bakasyon na, ba't ang bilis-bilis? So yan, it would smell of something na inalert. No? At pangalawa, nananawagan kami na sa mga may tatlong commissioner na magre-retire na, aalis na sa COMELEC ngayong simula ng February, antayin na lang yon bago magdesisyon talaga sa Smartmatic. No, mabilis magdesisyon at pagkatapos aalis na yung tatlo. No, bakit parang in fairness, parang delicacy para delikadesa para sa lahat, na sana naman yung susunod na ang gagawa nun. Hindi nila masasabi na kulang na sa oras. Kasi ng 2010, mas kulang sa oras, July na na-approve. 2013 ay March na na-approve. Ito, February, ma-approve na yan kung talagang tututukan nila. At tapos, isa pang panawagan, nasundin natin ang batas sa AES. May batas tayo at may mga safeguards doon. Ay dapat sundin yan. No, hindi laktawan yung mga safeguards. So, yan yung aming yan yung aming concern sa darating na election na yan.
Okay. For the record, we invited the Honorable Chairman Sixto S. Brillantes to join us and former Ambassador Henrietta Tita De Villa of PPCRB to join us in our discussion. Kaya lang ang problema, hindi nakarating si Chairman Brillantes at si dating Ambassador De Villa. Di na may conflict sa schedule. Kung anong schedule, hindi ko po alam. Pero ang pagkakasabi, may courtesy call daw ngayon sa COMELEC. Okay, Bishop, balikan ko lang. Ibig niyo bang sabihin, parang merong golden parachute involved dun sa deal sa Smartmatic?
Hindi namin alam kung yan ay golden parachute, no? Pero ang kanan namin ay nakakaduda. At ganoon din po, sinabi din namin dito na parang ang laki para lang i-diagnose yung mga machines, 300 million. Ang one sa Smartmatic, napakalaki. So, we didn't conclude anything. Kayo na lang mag-conclude.
Ganun. Parang medyo tagilid rin. Pero, Attorney Bishop, how do you look at all these events today?
Melo, magandang umaga sa inyong lahat. Una-una, let me go back to kanina. The fact that Chairman Brillantes and Ambassador Rita De Villa were invited. Natandaan ko ho, pag si Chairman Brillantes kaharap ang media, ang palaging sinasabi niya, wala silang ebidensya. Kami raw wala kaming ebidensya. Pag media ang kaharap niya. Eh nung kami ho nagharap noong January 12, tinanong ko siya, anong nangyari doon sa ebidensya pinapakita ko sa inyo? Ang sagot naman ho niya, ako na. Sabi niya, wala na kami tayo mag-imbestiga. Ang dami namin ginagawa. Kaya I'm not surprised if Chairman Brillantes na will not come. Eh nandito kami. We face the public and the media without fear. Kasi alam namin kung ano pinagsasabi namin. But it's noteworthy that Chairman Brillantes and Ambassador Rita De Villa did not even send a representative. If they are really interested to settle this issue, these nagging issues, once and for all before the next elections, this is a good way, this is a good forum. Kaya ako, dala-dala ko yung ebidensya.
Ano yung ebidensya to? Yan.
Actually, okay, sige. Not all naman siguro. Una-una, tingnan muna natin yung sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes na lahat ng election returns may digital signature. Nandun ho ako sa oral argument sa Supreme Court. Nililito-lito nga lang nila si Justice, I forgot the name, Justice Carpio. Sinabi nila, yung I-button, yun ang digital signature. But kung titingnan nyo itong audit log report from some Surigao del Norte, hindi ko na ho dinala yung sa Biliran, tsaka sa Taguig. Doon Surigao del Norte, 2013 elections ho. Makikita mo ninyo dito, nakalagay, generating EML results file. Ito yung pag-generate ng results. Electronic Machine Language Results File. The next step, it said, no PEI keys with which to sign the results. Then the next step, about to transmit file, CF flash restaurants file. So ibig sabihin, at the point of transmission, sinabi ng PICOS, there is no PEI key with which to sign the results. So anong digital signature pinagsasabi ni Chairman Brillantes? Galing to sa kanila. These are audit log reports from the PICOS.
Signatures.
All of these. So ibig kong sabihin, lahat ng electronic results were transmitted without digital signatures. Eh kung mangyari ho, may nagpadala ng ibang resulta like what happened in Biliran na 7%, 2 beses nagpadala ng resulta. But the problem is, yung pangalawang result was transmitted at the time the PICOS was already shut down. The question now is, saan galing yung pangalawang resulta? Because the PICOS can be established, wala na PICOS, na-shut down na siya. Bakit may resulta from that time on doon sa munisipyo? At kung titingnan natin yung dalawang resulta, hindi mo makikita, hindi mo ma-detect kung alin ang tama, alin ang hindi, because there is no digital signature. That's the importance of digital signature. Eh pangalawa, sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes, yung digital image. Alam nyo, ang PICOS kasi nagsiselfie. Bawat palota na pumapasok, nagpipicture siya. Ito yung original. Ito yung selfie. This was the ballots of Brother Eddie Villanueva. Yung 88 votes na hindi tugma. Wala. Kasi kung titignan nyo, may shade dito sa original for Brother Eddie. May shade sa original. Pero dito sa selfie, walang shade si Brother Eddie. Kaya kulang. Ito yung pinagmamalaki ni Chairman Brillantes, yung selfie niya. Pero kung titingnan ho ninyo yung dalawang shade, ng original shade, at yung shade dito, itong dalawa, hindi ho magkapareho yan eh. Kahit anong pang tingnan ninyo dyan, hindi ho magkapareho ang original at ang ballot image niya. So ibig sabihin, Mr. Brillantes has been deceiving the whole country all along since 2010 until now. At kaya nga ho, gusto kong ipasagot yan kay Mr. Brillantes, paano mo sasabihin na ang selfie mong ito, totoo, is the exact reproduction of the original? Na yung original, dalawa yung shade, pagdating sa selfie, isa na lang. Meron mo bang selfie na nakangiti kayo? Paglabas ng picture, nakasimangot na. O ito, sige, sabihin natin, dalawa ang ngipin dito sa original. Bakit isa na lang ngipin dito sa selfie? Mean to explain it in a way that's understood by the people. Hindi totoo yung sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes na you can rely. Ito yung another picture of the original ballot and the ballot image. Hindi nga sila tugma. Yan ang ibig namin isabing ebidensya. Sagutin nyo yan. Kasi hindi pwedeng you will just simply dismiss us imperiously without showing proof that we are wrong. Because we have shown prima facie evidence that the PICOs actually are laden with a lot of discrepancies. Ito, this is a picture of a whiteboard containing an instruction kung paano gumawa ng ballot image. If you look at this highlighted picture, sinabi, view ballots created. Bakit tayo mag-review ng ballots created? Unless you're going to check it. And at the bottom, nakalagay, create election files. Bakit tayo mag-create ng election files? Di ba sa PICOs yan? I'll turn this over to you, sir. You can take a look at that picture. Ito naman. Ito yung ballot image niya. Ito yung selfie. This line is the one that causes the PICOs to vote even if it was not voted for. Ito, walang binoto to na senador. Walang binoto dito. Pero pag tinignan nyo sa likod, 8 senador ang binoto niya. 8 senador ang binoto niya. Now, ito yung sinasabi kong basis namin. This is a revision summary doon sa election protest. Sa COMELEC mismo, of the 14,568 votes in this precinct, 3,801 were affected by that line. That's 26.1%. So ngayon, ang tanong, sino nanalo noong 2013 elections? If one precinct, 26.1% ang apektado, at sasabihin ni Chairman Brillantes, pa isa-isa lang yan? Hindi ho pa isa-isa lang yan. Marami ho ito. These are all ballot images from one precinct. Showing na
From one precinct.
Precinct 193, Barangay Talima, Lapu-Lapu City. Meron pa ho kami, Precinct 67 also, Barangay Abucain, Lapu-Lapu City. We have in Balamban, we have in Asturias, all in Cebu. We also have 5 in Northern Samar. Out of 25 protested precincts, 5 ang apektado.
Do you think all this that you're showing us could severely affect election results?
Yes, sir. If only one precinct will show you 26.1% of all votes were affected by the hundreds who ang binawas at dinagdag sa mga konsyal. Ang congressman dito, binawasan nun ng 147 votes.
At yung 147 votes na yun may be significant.
Yes, it can be significant because in this city, 2 presinto ang napakita namin. And these are only what is shown sa protest. Hindi pa natin binilang yung hindi pre-protestant. That when we count them, it would have significantly affected the results of the elections. Now ngayon, sino makapagsabi that we can trust the result of the elections 100%?
Okay, medyo controversial to. Pero, Bishop, babalikan kita. So, pinakita ni Attorney Chong, how do you assess all this?
Kaya nga dapat yan ay sagutin. Kasi kung hindi sasagutin yan, ipagpapatuloy yan sa 2016. So they cannot just brush it off, no, na gano'n ng mga protesta. Kasi ang mahalaga rin dito, yung trust ng tao, no, na hindi dapat mawala ang trust ng tao. Kahit na nagdaya o hindi, ang trust ng tao sanay nandiyan at malalagay lamang yung trust ng tao. So yung mga protestang yan, talaga sinasagot isa-isa. No? And not just to say na walang ebidensya, na pareho na yung mga grupong yan, wala naman nangyari dyan. So yan ay dapat talagang, for the sake sana ang COMELEC, talagang pag-aralan niya.
Yeah. Attorney Michael Buchet, how long have you been with the Commission on Elections?
Since 2008.
2008. And then, tapos, ano na nangyari?
Actually, nag-tender ako ng resignation sa COMELEC noong 2010. Until today, my resignation has not been accepted. So, hindi ko alam ano yung status ko. No? But anyway, tuloy-tuloy ang advocacy.
Pero sumusweldo ka pa.
Hindi na po.
Iba kasi yung bagay, pag sumusweldo ka, Kaso yan.
Tinatanggap.
Hindi mo tinatanggap. Maliwanag yan. Pero, anong tingin mo sa kultura ng COMELEC? Bakit kailangan deny ticket na lang? May isa-isa yan, lalo kayo ebidensya. What would have brought them to that kind of thinking?
Sa sobrang laki ng pera na pinamimigay kaliwat kanan, talagang mabubulag ang mga karamihan sa taga-COMELEC. Hindi po lahat, no? Pero karamihan na matataas ang rango. Sa sobrang laki ng pabaon, pasalubong at kung ano pa, talagang mabubulag at mabibigay sa boses ng bayan.
Hindi, pero saan nagagaling yun?
Doon mismo, sa halimbawa, sa contract na 300 million for diagnostics. I will dare say, wala pa sa kalahati na ng tunay eh. Puro kickback na yun, more than half ang kickback doon. May kolong ba yun, expert of the COMELEC Advisory Council mismo nag-compute na times ang computation natin is times parang 25% lang ang tunay doon eh. Ang lumalabas per pilos 4,000 pesos eh. Whereas ang diagnostics noon ay 500 pesos lang the average.
Ganun.
Ganun kalaki po ang kickbackan doon. So doon mismo sa pera ng gobyerno, yung binayad ng taong bayan, kukunin sa kickbacks ko kinukuha yung mga pera. Kaya ayaw makinig sa taong bayan dahil bayad na sa sobrang lakas, sa sobrang laki, sa sobrang silaw sa salapi.
Wow. Mula sa hangin ng mga manggagawa, may kasama ka rin dito, Dave. Anong tingin ninyo rito?
Actually, nagiging papel namin nagiging mukha. Ganda ng mga siya. Kami na nagiging mukha ng mga iba-ibang pananaw na tinatapon ngayon sa COMELEC Hospital. Kaya kami nagiging mukha dahil kami sa kalsada, kami naglulusad ng mga pagkilos para makaragdag yung kadagdag doon sa mga ginagawa nila. Yung dalawang katabi ko, abogado ito, no? Isipin ng abogado, no? Marami sila sinasabi, legal side, may mga hindi dumating baka mamaya si Mr. Celis technical side, yung mga digital signatures na yan, yung mga source code na yan. Of course, the moral issue of the entire thing is being articulated by the church. No? So, nandiyan lahat yan. Ang trabaho namin ngayon, sinupin lahat yan at ibaba sa tao. Tulad yan. Mag-iisang linggo na kami nandun ngayon sa harap ng COMELEC mismo, nag-camp out kami roon. Maraming organisasyon na nandun, magkagawa, urban poor, professionals, kabaihan, environmental groups, nandun ngayon, nagkakampo ngayon doon para may pakita hindi lamang sa COMELEC, hindi lamang sa gobyerno, kundi sa mga mamamayan na may problema na lang mabigat, ano? May mga obispo rin na nandun, pag-isa kami doon, no? Tuloy-tuloy ko naman ganitong pagkilos, no? So, ibang organisation pupunta sa ibang mga probinsya na katulad namin yung economic job, no? So, gano'n ang gawain namin dito kami sa halin ng mga i-translate into simple terms yung mga issues na hinaharap ng bayan pati sa COMELEC. Smartmatic. So, diretso na kami. Diyan, Smartmatic. Blacklist, Smartmatic. Automated election, yes, provided nasa mga bishop. Sundin yung batas, sundin yung safeguards, ilagay na dyan, at magiging maayos yung halalan, maayos ang bilangan, at hindi magiging bangungot para sa bayan.
So, Dave, may posibilidad ng isang kandidato mananalo sa eleksyon pero hindi sa bilang.
Marami. Actually, marami. Ang problema natin ngayon, pag nagprotesta siya, wala siya mapupuntahan eh. Ito, number one natin yun. Example, no? Si Congressman Chong, no? Tinalo niya, talagang matinding politiko sa bayan nila, si Espina, no? Pero, hirap na hirap magpaano eh. Kasi wala kang babalikan na hindi ko na dati pag-manual eh. Pwede mo buksan yung ballot box eh. Makikita mo eh. Ngayon, wala eh. Unang-una pa, hindi na pinabuksan. Ito, masakit dito ngayon. Itong recorporation na sinasabi, repair, Smartmatic na naman. Bakit? Ang tingin namin dyan, hindi na pag-buksan sa ibang mga provider, ibang mga vendors. Makikita, wala naman talaga yung mga makina na yun. So, maraming kandidato na in fairness na ihalal daw, pero hindi katulad ng lumalabas 60-30, hindi nakapagbigay ng comfort sa mga mamayan na legitimately elected. Masakit dito ngayon, sinasabi ng mga expert, the 2010 elections was not conducted in a fair, accurate and legitimate manner.
Yung 2010 elections,
Kasama yun.
pinagdududahan niya yung pag-uwagi ng presidente natin.
Marami ng, sabi ko na boses lang kami, no? Kami sa mga magagawa, nakasalalay kami dun sa mga eksperto, no? So marami namang nagpatunay na yan. Si Tony Chong, sa isang maliit na bagay, may bayan, mayroon siya ng project. Precisely that has been said by a number of computer experts, no? That the 2010 election is generally is characterized by irregular
By
irregularities, no? Kaya that brings the conclusion that only the president, all of those who have been elected in that election, including 2013, are not really validly elected by the people. Yun ang kaya tama yung tanong, ano bangungod ba yung nangyayari sa ating bayan? Maayos ba yung bilangan? Malinis pa ating halalan? Dito tayo nagtatawag yung 2016 ang naharapin natin. Same people, same machines will be used in 2016.
Okay, maganda to. Glenn, sabi mo wala kang babalikan kung magpo-protest ka. Is it because walang mga dokumentong available dun sa automated election system?
Ganito mo yan, sir. The audit log reports and the MDOC print logs, these are the two main documents that you need to get. It just so happened noong 2010, nakuha to ng mga tao sa biliran. They were the one who actually forced the election officers to certify them as true copies. Kaya hindi nakakalusot ang COMELEC. Kasi the evidence is certified true copy. Wala silang lusot dun eh. Kaya hindi sila sinasagot. I submitted a summary again to the Joint Congressional Oversight Committee on the 2010 elections, and one of these is yung 7 presinto na 2 beses nagpadala ng resulta. In this particular case, yung unang resulta was at 1:55 a.m. Yung pangalawang resulta was at 3:41 a.m. Nung tinignan namin yung audit log report ng PICOS, nakasaad doon, naka-turn off na siya at 3:08 a.m. Kaya bakit may resulta at 3:41 a.m.? That's very clear. Kaya nga ako hindi sinasagot ng COMELEC kasi walang lusot. Certified true copy ang dokumento. I remember, nung pinakita ni Governor Manny Piñol nung resulta ng eleksyon niya sa North Cotabato, ang nakalagay doon, Republika de la Colombia. Ano sabi ni Chairman Villanes, ay hindi certified true copy yan. Ayun. Wala magawa si
It's a brilliant argument.
Yes, it's a brilliant argument, but hindi siya lulusok doon sa amin kasi certified true copy. Kaya ang maganda, tikong bibig na lang, huwag nang sagutin kasi wala naman talaga silang lulusot doon. Now, going back, doon sa protesta ko, nagprotesto kami pero hindi mo dinesisyonan ng HREP. So, they decided it at the last day. So, ano to, uulitin ko, nung sinabi ko kay Kabayan Noli Di Castro, anong nangyari? 1 week before that date, kinausap ko yung isang member ng HREP, congressman, dyan sa isang Japanese restaurant sa EDSA Shangri-La. 9 or 9:30 ng gabi, 4 kami on the table. Ang sinabi niya, kung may pag-asa ka pa, dahil yung kalaban mo hindi pa binigay yung prenamis sa amin. Oh, I stand by what I say now. So anong klaseng protesta magpo-prosper under this system? Anong klaseng protesta magpo-prosper under this system?
So may pag-asa pa pala. Pero hindi ka nagbigay.
Wala na akong ibigay. Hindi na ako kumita doon eh.
Dahil kung nagbigay ka, at least they will
Panalo ka.
decide.
In fairness, the chairman of the HREP dissented and sided with me. Because it's very clear, 4,281 voters were allowed to vote after 7 p.m. Nung tinignan namin kung saan yung 4,281, 211 names lang ang nandun.
Wow.
And I lost only by a mere 361 votes.
Galing mo.
Ang eleksyon namin umabot hanggang 12 noon ng May 11, 2010. So there, on that score alone, ibig sabihin, kahit automated election, pwede mong dayain.
Teka muna, anong partido mo?
Dati ako Liberal Party.
Hindi, nung kumandidato kayo, liberal.
Nung una kong kandidato 2007, Liberal ako.
Tapos?
Noong 2010, inipit ko yung 5 kong bills. And those were high schools na gusto kong ipatayo. So lumipat ko ako sa ruling party.
Ang ruling party ay?
Lakas.
Ano wala kayo ng lakas?
Di bali na ako sir, basta yung paralan ko na tayo. Di bali na ako, basta yung paralan ko na tayo.
Okay, Bishop, please, Bishop.
Ito po yung problema sa ating sa election natin, automated. Una sa lahat, mahirap maintindihan ng mga tao, mga technical na mga bagay. So, mahirap na masakyan maintindihan. Pangalawa, hindi naman interesado ang ating mga sitting officials ngayon na talagang suriin yan kasi madadamay sila. No? Kaya pati yung investigation sa Congress, hindi naman talaga sila interesadong hanapin yan. Kasi tatamaan sila kung makita na may mali pala. No, at ganoon din sa 2010 elections. Ang problema niyan, dahil sa hindi nila sinusuri at ayaw nilang talagang to bite the bullet, ay tutuloy-tuloy yan. 2016, ganoon din at susunod-sunod. Kaya dapat may panahon at sasabihin natin, whatever happens, ayusin natin ito kagad. O kung hindi, palitan ang sistema.
Maganda ito. We will open the floor to our friends from the media. Baka may tanong na si Leslie. Yes,
If I may add po nung sinabi ni Bishop Fabilio, this is very telling. On December 10, 2013, nandun si Mel Magamo, nandun ako. Nung lumabas yung digital line na ni-report ng Technical Evaluation Committee ng Department of Science and Technology, etong sabi ni Chairman Coco Pimentel, si Brillantes dyan sa tapat. Chairman, anong masasabi mo? I was right behind Brillantes. Ang sagot niya ganito, nanalo na tayo. Doon ibig sabihin, you shut up, nanalo ka na. If only to illustrate yung sinabi ni Bishop Fabilio.
Okay, masaya ito. O baka kung may tanong na yung mga kasama natin sa media. Sige, simulan na. Ladies first.
Ezra Lino po, good morning, the Catholic Media Network. Although I also represent another NGO. Kay Congressman, given all the evidences that you have, anong pwedeng gawin para mapanagutin ang mga officials na dapat managot sa klaseng pagnanakot at pandaraya na ginagawa?
Ma'am, if we really have to look at it, wala ho tayong pag-asa if we go by the normal process like Joint Congressional Oversight Committee. Dahil doon din ho, wala ho talagang nangyayari. And we have been fighting our way in para lang ho, somehow, they will be made accountable for this. Sa pagkakalam ko, we have 12 pending cases before the Ombudsman, the Supreme Court. Ayun sa Ombudsman ho, may electoral sabotage against the Melo Commission. Pero wala hong nangyari hanggang ngayon since 2010 pa ho yun. Sa Supreme Court, we lost 1 or 2 cases but most of them are still pending, including ho yung final ko. Kami naman, we filed annulment of the 2013 senatorial elections on those grounds. Wala hong nangyayari ba?
So which means, from your point of view, ano ang pwedeng magawa at anong dapat gawin to put a stop to all this?
Ganito po yung pag-iisip ko po. The Commonwealth will not be so brazen to run the PICOs down our throats unless they are relying on someone mightier than they are. Meron talaga sila, nakasandal yan sila sa palir eh. Now the question is, in this country, who holds the ultimate sovereignty? The people has the absolute sovereign power in their hands. And the only option that we have is to go to the streets kung hindi ho sila makikinig sa atin. And this is exactly what Diwa, sila Calion, C3A, NTC, Tandem are all there, and all the other groups because wala ho talaga tayong pag-asa, believe me. And the bigger danger ho, ito ho ang kinatatakutan ko. Yung sinabi ni Professor Hector Barrios, you were there, di ba, Bishop, na kung mag-transcend yung pera-pera lang, yung bayan, yung sinabi kong si Louis Vuitton lady, yung tumanggap po nun si Louis Vuitton boy eh. Di ba, nag-debate kami ni James Jimenez sa DCMM. Alam naman pala niya si Louis Vuitton lady. Kinonfirm niya yun eh. Kilala ko yan eh. Kung alam mo naman pala eh, baka ikaw yung si Louis Vuitton boy. Kasi ang tumanggap sa Louis Vuitton lady, mayroong Louis Vuitton boy. Eh di sabi niya, hindi na raw bumalik, dapat mag-imbestiga kayo. But the problem is, palagi nilang sinasabi, nag-iimbestiga sila. Pero kung tatanong tayo, nasaan yung report ninyo? Walang may papakita ang COMELEC. Because in the first place, they didn't really investigate. They simply deflected the argument. Ang kinatatakutan ko is baka pagkatapos ng pera-pera, we will get to be controlled by narco-politics, which is a very real danger. Every Filipino must be ready to stand up against.
Okay. Let's have the opening statements of Dr. Nelson Sayers, technical man. How technical is the PICOS now? Can the PICOS be controlled by a satellite? Yeah.
Good morning to everybody. Good morning. It can be controlled by satellite, of course, remotely by the operator. And there was this challenge, remember, by Chairman Brillantes, to have a demonstration of to tamper the PICOS machines. This is a challenge to former COMELEC Commissioner Gastelman. And COMELEC Chairman Gastelman accepted the challenge. But he said that let's do this with the presence of the smart contract programmer, so that Gastelman will be able to instruct the programmer to do what the PICOS machine should do. And that is a way of tampering the results of the PICOS machines. But it is not necessary to do that. There are evidences that would show that there were tampered results in the past elections. In fact, before the elections in 2010, there was this final testing and sealing of the 76,000 PICOS machines. That was on May 3. That was on May 3, 2010. So, what was the result or results of the final testing and sealing nationwide? So, the manual count, this is using 10 ballots per precinct to test the PICOS machines. What were the results? The manual count differed from the PICOS count. So that was already a proof of the tampered results. And what did the COMELEC do? They called on 76,000 PICOS machines. But mind you, those 76,000 PICOS machines were certified and tested by the Technical Evaluation Committee. So that was headed by the Department of Science and Technology. So they're saying that the machines were 99.995%. But how come COMELEC recalled all those 76,000 CF cards or the compact flash cards? Remember what happened in Makati, a typical example. The votes of Binay and Mercado were reflected in the votes of Genuino. But in the manual count, you would see the true counts of Binay, Mercado, and Genuino. And this happened nationwide. That's why COMELEC decided to recall all the 76,000 sale cards. And the Department of Science and Technology said those were tested and certified 99.995%. So there's a conflict between the certification of the OST and what really happened on May 3. So the manual count differed from the PICOS count. And if you're going to look into the general instructions of COMELEC, you would not see there a procedure that when the count differs, the manual count differs from the PICOS count, you have to recall or change the CF card. There is no such procedure or guideline in the general instructions of COMELEC. And the legislators, I'm sorry, didn't bother to question why they COMELEC recall all the 76,000 CF cards. So there was none in the general instruction. There was no question about the recalling by the legislators, Senate in the House. Even the Jacob didn't even bother to question or ask, why did you do that? The Department of Science and Technology was saying that it's 99.999% and now you're recalling it. So it's a real proof of tampering. So that's why I think Chairman Brillantes was afraid to have the actual demonstration because it really happened. Even before the actual elections on May 10, 2010, the first infamous proof of the defective automated election system of smart running. And if you want to see more of this happening, you can check the YouTube, the Hacking Democracy. There is at least a 7-minute video there, Hacking Democracy. You would see there how an insider would be able to change the results of the biggest machine. So that's also a proof. Even I challenge James Jimenez, if the Hacking Democracy documentary film is a fake or not. He was not able to answer that. So, ladies and gentlemen, PICO's machines will be tampered by the insider.
But also by the outsider.
No, it's very, very difficult for a hacker outside or externally doing it because it might take time to really examine and study the nitty-gritty of the book. It's really the insider that could do that.
Okay. So yung mga nag-ayos ng CF cards noong 2010, pwedeng yun na yung nagbenta ng 2013.
Yes, that's a big possibility. And by the way, the recalling of the 76,000 CF cards should have undergone testing again. But there was no testing, there was no certification. And it was very, very impossible to recall all the 76,000 cards to COMELEC in 1 week's time and bring it back to the precincts.
Yes.
And then test and certify. That's why we at the Philippine Computer Society lodged a petition to the Supreme Court to postpone the elections at least several weeks to test the veracity or the accuracy of the PICO's machines. But the Supreme Court said, we're not the trier of facts. You better go to COMELEC, and then if you're denied, then come back to us.
And then we didn't have time already.
Yeah, no more time because it's only 1 week. May 3 to May 10. It's only 1 week.
Yes. Holiday pa, you make it. Anyway, tuloy tayo sa discussions. Maganda itong pinag-uusapan na ito. Pero, Mel, sa tingin mo ba mayroong mga nanalo roon sa senatorial elections na pinapanalo na lang para wag na lang mag-ingay, wag na questionin yung results ng election?
Kung i-analyze yung statistics ng 60-30-10, yes. The answer to that is yes. In comparison with yung mga hindi natin inaasahan na matutuklasan, katulad ng kunyari, yung sa Nueva Ecija. Etong 60-30-10, as early as 2013, pinaputok na yan ni Professor Lex Muga. Tapos wala kaming independent evidence na to support it. Tapos biglang dumating na hindi, yung mga evidence binolunteer by some idealistic people. Pero hindi namin mailabas dahil ayaw bigyan ng immunity. Tapos here comes these cases in Nueva Ecija na court cases to, pinayad doon by the supporters of Brother Eddie Villanueva. Binigyan ng COMELEC chance to participate in that case in Gapan, branch 34 under Judge Celso Baguio. Dinicide itong civil case number 4378-13, Municipal Election Register versus Ananas et al. Involving one candidate only. Pero ang natuklasan, the entire lineup ng Senado, natuklasan, it confirmed the 60-30-10 theory.
Na yung 60% administration, 30 yung opposition, at yung 10% yung kinikilalang buraot, yung mga kung saan mula. 6-3 yun. Tama, parang yun na yata yun. Now, we have questions from the floor, aside from this, from our friends from Comelec B. We have questions there? Sige, tuloy tayo sa discussions kung wala pa. Pero, Bishop, paano yun? Kung hanggang ngayon, hindi ko naayos yung problema ng PICOS, pagkatapos election na tayo sa 2016, ano mangyayari? Sino-sinong cartoon character sa mananalo?
Kaya nga ngayon pinag-uusapan ng mga tao, sino ba ang pwedeng maging presidente, sino ba ang mga senatoriables, but that will be useless. Kahit na pumili pa tayo na maayos sa tao, pagkatapos yan, ang magdidisenyo ng mga plan, hindi yung tao. Kaya pati na sa amin sa simbahan, alam naman natin na tuwing eleksyon, mayroon kaming voters education, sinasabi natin na pumili kayo ng maayos, ng mga hindi kayo magpapabili ng boto, ay pero kung gano'n naman pala, ay bakit pa mag-voters education? No, bakit pala pipili tayo ng maayos mga kandidato? Hindi naman alam kung talagang sinuso ng tao. No? Kaya parang sayang ang lahat ng trabaho natin. Kaya sana lahat ng ating attention dapat ay nandito sa PICOS, sa Smartmatic na maayos yan. And then we can have a hope of a better election later on, with better candidates. That's what nangyayari.
I remember interviewing then British ambassador in the Philippines, si Ambassador Billy. Natanong ko siya, kayo sa Great Britain, gumagamit ba kayo ng mga PICOS machines? Sabi niya, hindi. Dahil lang sa, ang pangamba namin, baka sabi niya, baka mapasukan ng mga ibang espiritu, magkaiba-iba yung election dito. Pero mukhang ganun na nangyari dati. Dahil sabi niya, meron din kami ilang mga bansa na dating may gandang makina, pero umalis na rin. Kinalimutan na. Would you know countries which shifted from automated to non-automated elections? Please. Dr. Sen.
Germany and then the newest one is, or the latest one is Canada.
Ayaw na nila.
Yeah. So we in IceWatch and other watchdogs, we were recommending that we should have a manual count or public counting, not secret counting, but automated transmission and automated canvassing and consolidation. That's what we are advocating right now. But if Comelec would insist to use PICOS machines, we should have a parallel manual count. That's being done during the final testing and sealing. There is a manual count, and there is the PICOS count. So these are two workable solutions that can happen in 2016.
Okay, Bishop, let me ask you this. Coming from the church, how would the ordinary Filipino distinguish a watchdog from a lapdog? I guess we should be clear about this.
Yes.
Kaya ibig sabihin yung watchdog dapat ay critical siya. No, sa mga nangyayari, nagtatanong siya, hindi lang sumusunod, no, sa sinasabi ng Comelec. Yun yung mahalaga, yung maging critical tayo. At kaya nga nakakatuwa na may mga grupo na tayo ngayon mayroon na mga grassroots na mga tao na medyo nagsasalita na. Because that did not happen in 2010, 2013. Yung mga grassroots, parang hindi nila alam, nila sasakyan. So ngayon nagsisimula na, sana kumalat pa ito, no, na talaga maintindihan ng mga tao para naman maging maayos ang ating eleksyon.
Maganda to. Hindi mo kaya trabaho ninyo sa public affairs yun? CBCP.
Kaya nga, yan nga. Kaya nga nandito ako.
Ayan, very good. Alright, kung pwede na mag-iwanag. Yes. Okay, Casino has arrived. Please join us. We need another chair, please. Ngayon, doon sa mga nahuli yung dumating at ang sasabihin bakit puro lalaki kami rito. May kinumpita po kami babae, kaya lang hindi mo nakarating. How I wish she made it, kaya lang enjoy. What's the latest from the society? What's the latest? Itong controversial sa Smartmatic, di ba pa?
Well, Dr. Nelson Celeste already wrote in his column na
our president, Leo Kirby, had filed an opposition to the Bids and Awards Committee of COMELEC regarding Smartmatic's eligibility. Kasi lumalabas nga maraming mga provisions in the request for proposal that did not comply. Meron na shortcomings, hindi niya nakumpleto yung mga requirements, and because of that, we're questioning why did they allow Smartmatic to still participate. And we all know the fact that Smartmatic is not the owner of the Vicos technology, it's Dominion. Second, the manufacturer of the hardware, it's not Smartmatic also, it's another third party based in China. So why give a contract worth 300 million plus another 900 million to Smartmatic when there are a lot of glitches and gaps that has happened in 2010, also in 2013, and then they awarded to them for 2015. And furthermore, there was no NCA. NCA is national, yung national cash notice of cash allocation, because if you look at the DBM GAA, General Appropriation Act of 2014, ang COMELEC, wala siyang budget to bid for to December. So, illegal yung ginawa nila, technically speaking.
Saan galing yung pera?
Good question. Bumasa sila ng GAA for 2015. We don't even know whether nandun na nga yung bid nila. So paano nangyari nag-bidding ka at wala kang book budget? In government, we all know, you cannot subject that for bidding if you have the NCA, the Notice of Cash Allocations. And nag-i-issue yun, pag napasa ng Kongreso yung GAA, dadaan pa sa DBM yun, tapos iisahin nila yun, lahat ng mga appropriations.
Kakaroon ng NCA.
Ng NCA, ng DBM. It will take another 30 to 60 days bago mag-issue ng DBM ang NCA. So, if you look at the timeline, kung pumapamit man na ng Kongreso yung GAA for 2015 in December, end of December, dapat lalabas na yung NCA para sa COMELEC para mag-bid after February. Paano nangyari yung award noong December?
Okay, pero magre-retire si Chairman Brillantes ng
By February 2.
So,
Bakit kami namadali?
there was a time, kasama namin si Cashman, sabi ko, was it more of a case of a golden parachute? Sabi niya, most likely.
Meron lang akong dagdag sa sinabi ni Toti. Hindi ka magpipiling kung wala kang saro. Saro muna bago bidding din NCA.
Okay. What is that?
Some allotment release order. Alam ko yun because nagkakawag ko ng saro before.
Yan yung sinisirox sa DBM nun.
Ayaw mo sinisira. No, kasi this is your authority to bid eh. Parang authority mo yan to bid eh. Without the saro, hindi ka pa magbibidding. Eh kung at the time na the budget was still to be signed, hindi pa mag-i-issue ng saro ang DBM at that time. Bakit nagbibidding ka na?
Okay, I would like to pose these questions to you lawyers. Binanggit ng ating kasamang si Toti, yung tungkol sa may isang third party from China, may isang bansa pa.
Yung owner ng technology is not Smartmatic. Yung Vicos technology, it is owned by Dominion Voting System, which is based in Canada.
In Canada?
Yes.
Alright.
So in other words, Smartmatic is just a reseller. Ang reseller po, ibig sabihin niyan, hindi siya proprietary owner. Siya yung, kumbaga, binila siya ng prangkisa o distributor. Parang nakikita natin sa mga cyber zone, sa yung mga dealer. Dealer na siya.
Dealer na. Pero mga abogado na naririto, hindi kaya delikado yung ating national interests kung itong mga bansang ito, may China kang binanggit eh. Meron tayong Canadian owned company. Hindi kaya nakasalalay dito yung soberenya ng bansa natin.
Definitely, nakasalalay yung sovereignty ng ating bansa dito. Pero I just want to confirm kay Toti na sinabi niya saan galing yung pera. Inamin ni Butchaban during the Supreme Court hearing on the Disbursement Acceleration Plan of, the exact date is November 19, 2013. I was there in that hearing. Inamin ni Butchaban na yung pera na yan ay galing sa DAP.
Galing sa DAP.
I think, Mel, that 4.2 billion na galing sa DAP is for the 2013 elections.
Hindi sa 20.
Hindi sa 2015. This one, nagbibidi nga silang walang saro at walang NCA. Now, That's different because that's 4.2 billion in gap funds was used in 2013. Yun yung sinasabi ni Mel. This one, wala pang budget sa 2015. Hindi pa na-sign, pero nag-proceed na siya for bidding. Nagmamadali nga eh. Kaya nga,
But the mere fact na wala pang pera, pumayag na yung kumpanya,
kasi sigurado sila.
sigurado na.
Sigurado sila manalo.
Wow, medyo mabigat ito. Yes, please.
Maganda yung kung aralin yung sequencing. Ang unang tanong natin dyan bakit na-ibigay ni Smartmatic? Ano naging batayan? Sinasabi mayroong extended warranty. Okay. Kailan yung extended warranty? October yun October 2014 na pinag-usapan. Nag-decision sila. Bakit October? It could have been earlier. October na ginawa. November 4, nagkaroon ng start ng bidding process. November 4. December 22, na-approve yung budget. December 22, On December 23, nilabas ang resolution. On December 26, nilabas na sa publiko. So, inantay nila yung ma-approve yung budget kasi sisilipin namin sila so, yes ko siya, October, in-approve yung warranty. Bakit? Bakit mo approve yan? Bakit usapan yan? Kasi iniisip na nila, with this warranty, pag lumabas yung pera ngayon, may budget na, pwede nila i-go nila yan So, December, tapos pagdating ng November 4, start ang bidding. November 4 hanggang December 4 between that period, lumabas yung December 4 lang yun so nagtanggap na. Sabi nga ni isang dapat hindi nyo muna ginagawa yan, wala pa yung notice na wala pa yung sabo, wala pa yung notice ba NCA, classification, December 22, lumabas yung budget. December 23, nilabas yung resolution, Resolution supposedly awarding the refurbishment to Smartmatic without the bidding, in spite of the opinion of the Legal Department of Comelec na prudence dictates na dapat i-award yan. That's 300 million. Tapos, nagbayad kami ng kaso, we filed a case December 9 to blacklist Smartmatic. It was dismissed a week after. Kaya anytime tomorrow we'll be going to the Supreme Court. Actually, nag-iwan kami as part of the due process. We'll be going to the Supreme Court to pursue namin yung blacklisting. He mentioned about the case being filed to disqualify.
An objection to the award.
Yun, so mayroon na. Another case will be filed with another group para doon sa disqualification. So we have the situation na in a span of almost 2 months lang, December, January ngayon, mag-retire sa February, Ang daming ginagawa ng mga decision, So, ang daming kaso na tinatapon ngayon. So, ano mangyayari sa itong schedule ngayon? Kung maraming mga legal impediments yan, lalong makakaproblema. Bakit nangyayari ito? Pinipilit ni Brillantes. Sana tumigil na lang siya. Kung na rin urgent call ng mag-isang, publish na doon nila sa Madyaryo na, huwag naman. Medyo mabonus dili naman kayo. Paubayan niya sa susunod na isang linggo na lang Paubayan sa susunod na So that's the guy that's commonly that hardly.
Yes, dadagdagan pala ng ating kasama si Dr. Celis bago ako magtanong.
In fact, si Attorney Emerald Ladra, yung legal department din ng Comelec, kasi dapat dumaan sa bidding yan, yung sinasabi ni Mr. Diwa. Hindi yung i-award mo diretso or direct negotiation or negotiated contract dun sa Smartmatic. In fact, kung titignan mo rin, analyze mo yung refurbishment o repair ng maintenance, masyado mahal yung 300 million. So, divided by 82,000, that's 3,000 pesos per Ficus machine. But, doon sa final testing and sealing, na sinasabi mo kanina, yun na yung diagnostics na ginagawa mo Para malaman mo kung nagka-count ng tama o mali yung isang Ficus machine. That's already diagnostics. Yung 300 million na sinasabi ni Chairman Brillantes, diagnostics pa lang yun para malaman kung tumatakbo o hindi, mali o tama ang bilang. Yung mismong final testing and sealing is already a way of diagnosing the Ficus machine.
Okay. Maganda to. Pero hindi kaya dito sa mga issue natin ito na parang mako-question ano mangyayari sa eleksyon. Hindi kaya dumating yung pagkakataon na sabihin ni Presidente, hindi pa kayo magkasundo, I will stay muna in power. Hindi kayo magkasundo Yung eleksyon, tagilid O dito muna, ayusin muna natin ito.
Please. As early as 2010, the Philippine Computer Society submitted a case with Ombudsman signed by the former president at si Dr. Nelson Sainz at that time, that we were charging criminal and administrative charges against Comelec and Smart Money for not complying to the law. We had a roundtable forum with all the different civil society, nandun ng NAMPREL, nandun ng People Society. And then, pag-ipon-ipon na namin, yung mga glitches na nangyari noong 2010, which brings the issue na we had a president that is not elected by the people, but is elected by the PICOS. It's a big difference here, no? Why do we say it's elected by the PICOS? Because, one, dumating doon sa tanggapan opisina ni Senate President Enrile, being the chair of the Joint National Board of Canvassing, lahat ng mga transmission, no? Na ang total number of registered voters was 256 million. Mas malami pa siyang number of registered voters sa population ng Pilipinas. That is highly questionable in terms of technology.
Alam pakiulit, anong bilang?
256 million of registered voters. Yung tinatawag ng CCS, yung Counting and Consolidating System Server.
Galing sa India.
Yan na nga eh. Kaya nga namin kini-question nga ho yun. Kaya nga sinasabi mo, pag sinasabi nga nitong nakaupong presidente na ayusin mo na ito, hindi pa, wala pa sa pag-upo pala niya, may problema na noong 2010, naulit-uli yan noong 2013, nung lumabas yung 60-30-10, na doon pala sa unang lumalabas ng canvas, number 1 na yung number 1 to 9, sila pa rin ang nagpipwesto hanggang sa 20th canvas na maabot na doon ng mga from 800,000 votes counted to 20 million votes counted. Yung 9 positions hindi nagbago sa buong Pilipinas. Kailan sa buong Pilipinas nag-aisa Pilipino bumoto ng siyam na pare-parehas ang kandidato. Tapos na lumabas yung report ng Technical Evaluation Committee, yung merong digital line, ipagsama mo na yun, ibig sabihin niya, ito yung digital line, ito yung 60-30-10, ibig sabihin, nakaprograma na, nang mananalo, yung number, yung 9 talaga na yun.
Okay, ang tanong na yun, kung dalawang eleksyon na itong ganito, Toti, hindi kaya merong superpower behind?
Ano na yun eh, field na ng political science po yan. Kami po, nasa field lang kami ng computer science. Pinapaliwanag lang namin. Ang maaaring yung mga ganyan klase, mga people behind the power that be, is up to the political science. But of course, the answer to that question, yes.
Okay, sa kaya galing yun? Yun ang tanong. Oh, baka kung may gusto na magtanong sa mga kapatid natin sa media, please go ahead. We'd like to give preference muna po sa media. Dali po. Counting 1, counting 2, counting 3, wala, please. From civil society. Yes, please.
Also media, the Islamic media movement, we've been hearing about this, but it seems that we keep getting the same answer, and the answer is to ignore us. So why even have an election? Why don't we just have an auction, let the COMELEC auction the positions for sale? You know, we're all making fools of ourselves, and if we are being ignored, the church has been harping on this, and it's frustrating. I don't even know how we sleep at night. This is a sacred ballot. The votes are being tampered, and really, the future of this country is at stake, and people are not even threatened, by all of this. So I'm just asking the church, Bishop Camilo, I know they're doing their part, maybe not enough, And also, I'm asking also the computer society, what are the plans? It's almost, we started the year right with the visit of the Pope. It is focusing on being righteous, being concerned, because whatever is being saved right now, they're saving billions, not to buy votes anymore. They're buying the operators of the PICOS. They're buying, and this is by the billions. So this is something really very, very important, very crucial, as Bishop Pagilio said, and I agree with him totally, that this is something crucial, and what are we going to do about it?
Yeah. Will you be surprised, Madam, if Vice Ganda runs for the Senate and wins?
I would even go to personalities. What is important is we have the right to choose the right leaders, never mind the quality of leaders, but right at the very beginning, since 2010, we've been hearing the same people crying the same, barking on the same tree and crying over these things, but we have been ignored, and that's the answer that we've been getting from them. Ignore and railroad again this coming election.
It's very outstanding. You have a non-working railroad, yet you talk of railroads. Bishop, please react.
I think if we can just focus together, outreach Smartmatic, kasi parang ang lahat ng itlog nila nasa Smartmatic eh. Talagang pinaninindigan nila eh. No, pag mawala na yung Smartmatic, palagay mo we can breathe a new air. No, at makaasa tayo sa magandang eleksyon. But we have to come together. At yan, kasama ang media. Kasama ang media para may pabantaw sa mga tao. I think it's only the people who are crying out that they will listen to. No, hindi naman nakikinig ang ombudsman, hindi naman ang Senate, hindi nakikinig ang Supreme Court na bagal-bagal, baka wala namang alam ang Supreme Court tungkol sa mga bagay na yan, mga technical na mga bagay. Kaya yung mga tao dapat, but the challenge is, how can we move the people that they will understand and see the seriousness of the problem? Yan ang dapat natin pagsama-samahan.
Sad to say, merong magagaling na taong hindi manalo-nalo. Yun ang isang masakla, at ang nananalo, yung hindi mo alam kung saan nagmula. Kung saan umubot, kung saan laman ng lupa nagmula. Anyway, we have questions? Wala pa. Hindi pa. Okay, maraming mga sinusulat. Yes,
Itong mga cases na lumalabas noong 2010 2013 regarding the glitches, mga PICOS machines. Most of the lawyers na naririnig natin sa radyo, sa media, sasabihin nila, show us proof na merong daya. So kanina, sinabi ko na meron tayong evidences, mga 76,000 na CN cards na recall, at kung ano-ano pa, katulad ng mga evidences na meron si Atty. Quercio. Pero meron bang lawyer na nagtanong, nag-comply ba ang COMELEC sa Republic Act 9369? Marami tayong makilala, well-known lawyers and senators nagsasabi, show us proof but never ask the question, did COMELEC comply with Republic Act 9369 or stated election law? Nobody. And nobody.
Let me state this for the record. No March 23, 2012, nag-hearing ho kami sa Senado. Marami ho kami doon. Kasama nga namin doon si Solita Monsiri, if I remember. Pero nakalis na ho siya nung pumasok si Senator Enrile. That's March 23, 2012. Pagpasok ho ni Senate President Enrile, challenge ho niya kaming lahat sa table, across him. Iniisa-isa kami tinawag. I remember nandun si Vito Atienza, nandun si Manny Piñol, Evie Jimenez was there, Professor Muga was there. Iniisa-isa niya, prove to me that someone is sitting in public office by virtue of cheating. Hindi ho niya ako nakita kasi magkahilera kami. So I wrote a note to Coco, Senator Coco, and sinabi ko doon sa note, I'm taking up the Senate President's challenge. And nung binasa ho niya, gumanyan ho si Senate President, sabi niya, do you mean I won by cheating? And sagot ko sa kanya ganito, Mr. Senate President, with due respect, we have seen how you have handled the impeachment proceedings. And you have handled it like a true statesman. Kahit mag-eleksyon ho tayo na yung din, from Luzon to Mindanao, hindi ho kayo kailangan manlaya. Alam ko mananalo kayo. And sabi niya, sige, you go ahead, you answer my question. So I had the entire 30 minutes to myself. Nandun yung 7 komisyoner led by the white-haired Brillantes. And then, I had 30 minutes. Inayos ko lahat, from manual to cheating in the 2010 election, so ito lahat. Iniisa-isa ko yung ebidensya for 30 minutes and they never rebutted me. And I even saw the head of Brillantes gumagano. So I took the opportunity. Sabi ko, Mr. Senate President, let me point out to you, the head of the chairman of the Comelec is nodding in agreement to what I am saying. I rest my case. And then tumawa si Senator Enrile at sinabi niya, Chairman, Commissioner Larrazabal, sagutin mo to. Ito ang sagot ni Commissioner Larrazabal. Your Honor, can we answer that in executive session? Ayaw ho nilang marinig namin kung ano ang sagot nila. So pinalabas ho kami lahat. By the way, Gus Dagman was there, but he was made to go out earlier. So hindi na nakasali si Gus Dagman doon sa loob. So nung lumabas kami, may isa pang senador pumasok, sinabi niya, huwag kang umalis, makinig ako for you. After 30 minutes, paglabas niya, hinugod niya yung kamay ko, papuntang elevator sa Senado. Kaming dalawa lang sa loob ng Senado. Nagmura pa nga siya, sabi niya, tangina pare, inadmit ng Comelec, the only way to explain your case is fraud. And I stand by that statement na sinabi ng kaibigan ko, Senador.
Buhay pa yung senador.
Buhay na buhay ang Senador na yan.
Hindi nakakulong yung senador.
Hindi ho nakakulong ang Senador.
At least maliwanag. Okay.
And there was already an admission at that time. But they are not willing to admit it publicly.
Okay. Looking forward, what do you see?
So mayroon ako ditong 5 kopya kung sinong gusto. Yung sulat namin ng mga obispo, no, na pinadala namin sa Comelec, kumuha ng kayo dyan. No. And then, alam po natin na mayroon ng grupo na nagka-come out doon sa Comelec. Mga 7 araw na yan. Sana naman masuportahan pa natin sila. Sana naman. Yung media, palagi nyo naman i-focus, no, para mabuhayan yung mga tao at makita may problema dito. May mga nangangahas ng tumutin sa mistake para dito. No, so, yan, as a small move, kung dumami pa yung tao, mag-snowball ito, no, at saka yung media, maglagay din ng confidence yan, palagi matutulungan natin yung bansa. No, just for the sake of the country.
Okay, thank you, sir. Attorney Mel and Attorney Diana, do you think that paniniwalaan ko lahat ng sinabi niya tungkol dun sa magic noong 2013? Do you think na pinag-aralan nila kung sino dapat ang manalo para walang magreklamo?
Halata naman kung ano, yung isa anak ni Vice President Binay, yung isa is a very close ally of Senator Enrile. So talagang ito yung mga taong binigay na sa kanilang position para hindi na umangal. Tapos yung 60-30-10 pattern na yan, talaga is very difficult to explain unless na it doesn't happen in real life. Hindi ganyan klaseng ganyan klaseng pattern, no? Pero I wish to point out na 7 years na po ako lumalaban dito sa 7 years. 2008 pa lang, ang bumabati ko sa PCOS, by the way, noong 2008, sino bumabati ko sa PCOS? Tayo lang hindi eh. Ang number 1 na critic ng PCOS is Smartmatic. Yung Smartmatic mismo, binabati ko siya ang PCOS kasi iba ang binibenta niya noon. Touchscreen ang binibenta niya. Tapos, pagdating ng 2009, bumaliktad yung Smartmatic, siya naman ang sasabi mo napakaganda ng PCOS. Kasi PCOS na ang binibenta ng Smartmatic. So what is the reason for the turnaround? The only common denominator here is pera-pera lang eh. Kung ano yung mas mabenta, yun ang pinupush ng Smartmatic. So nakakapagod na, 7 years na yan yung laban. So, may nakakalimutan na aspeto dito kasi sa overpricing tayo nagpo-focus. Meron din another aspect dito, yung overspending. Na, si Chairman Brillantes, nangako siya that before he retires, he will release all the decisions on political overspending. Remember that Laguna Governor Ejercito, mas maraming wars sa kanya. And actually, ang nakakalungkot dito, out of the approximately 17,000 elected officials in the Philippines, from president down to the lowest Sangguniang Bayan member, 80% nun ay nag-overspend, and that's a conservative estimate. Since only 20% is left in the government, that means we have no quorum, we have no government today. We are run by disqualified elected officials. Ganun kalala ang situation natin. And COMELEC was given 10 days from January 20 until January 30 to release that list of election overspenders. Kaya hindi nire-release yun dahil alam nila mauubos ang gobyerno. That's how bad the situation is right now.
Hindi naman kaya ganyan ang inyong paninindigan eh. Hindi kayo na-appoint sa gobyerno o di kaya kakampi kayo ng mga nakalipas na administrasyon.
Definitely hindi po kasi I'm still with the government right now. Pwede ko i-claim yung pwesto na binibigay sa akin na supply officer. Gusto akong gawing chief supply officer. And that was offered to me by Brillantes, and I can take that position and be an instant millionaire. The supply office is the equivalent of the Bureau of Customs in COMELEC. I can become instant millionaire anytime now. I just accept that position.
Really? Yes.
Kami po sa Philippine Group Society, we have been consistently apolitical and non-partisan. The reason we've been saying all of this because this is our industry, this is our sector, and we know the practice. Now, we know in the industry, there is no single entity that was given a contract by the size of 7 or 10 billion pesos for that matter. Even the big banks, PPI, mga malaming bank, pag bumibili sila ng mga computers, mga IBM yan, malaki ng 800 million. Pero pag pinapatakbo nila yan, pinapagana nila, katulad ng mga 18 nakikita nyo, gumagana maayos, pero pulido pagkagawa. Kaya ang sinachampion namin sa Philippine Society, na pinagmamalaki namin na lahat ng mga IT professionals na Pilipino, magagaling. Pero ngayon, ito mga dayuhan, ginagawa kaming mangmang. Kaya nag-i-insult kami din sa industry na sino kayo magsasabi sa amin na hindi namin naintindihan ginagawa namin. Unang-una sa lahat, nagkamali na sila sa project management. Alam natin na, sabi nga ni Dr. Zeres kanina, na 1 week before election ng 2010, yung CF cards pumapalpak, mali-mali na ang tila. So yun pa lang, hindi na sila maayos sa quality control. And then after election, ano nakita natin? Nakita natin may mga ibang election returns, iba-iba ang petsa na hindi maintain, mas maaga. At alam din natin na meron na nakukup na 60 plus PICOS machines sa Antipolo na may kasamang bigan. So sa amin, pag inintindi mo yung mga pangyayari na yan, maaari nagkaroon na ng mga pandaraya na ginawa na ng mga operator. Kasi isa pa, tinanggal pa nga nila yung UE scanner doon sa PICOS machine para malaman kung yung balota ay originally printed by NPO or not. So lahat ng mga security measures tinanggal. So lahat ng mga yan, ang sinasabi namin sa lokohan na to, mula pala sa 20, pero ang tingin sa amin, parang kahit sinasabi nyo ho, na siguro kapag yung dating administrasyon, kaya kami nandito, yun ang hirap eh. Yung aming mga pananalita, ginagawa nilang parang, hindi pa nila magpinapang yung aming hangarin dito.
So, let me ask you, bakit pag nag-transact ako sa ATM at nag-balance in courier, tatanungin ako ng ATM, gusto ko ba ng resibo? Pag sinabi kong yes, may resibong lalabas. Bakit doon, sa pagboto ko noong 2010, ang lumabas lang, pagpasok ng aking balota, congratulations, you've already voted.
Magandang tanong po yan, ano? Kasi ho, nakalagay dun sa, bakit gano'n? Una, sabi na nga ni Nelson, compliant ba ang COMELEC dito sa batas? Nakalagay po dun sa section 6 or almost number 7 siya, yung minimum system configuration. Nakalagay dun, dapat i-feature yung programa na yung binoto ng botante lalabas. Kaya nga sinasabi mo, humingi ka ng receiving transaction mo. Hindi pinatunayan, hindi lumabas nga yun. So, bakit nga hindi ginawa yun? Para madali ang dayaan.
Kinapun ba talaga ng COMELEC yun? Was it through a resolution?
No? Was it?
8786 and 8640. The removal of the digital signature was done through Resolution 8640 and 86. 87, 86 in 2010 and 9640, Resolution 9640 in 2013. The digital signature.
Yung voter verification, yung boto.
Kasama doon, indirectly, kasama doon. Actually, the way I illustrate this removal of the four security features, ganito ho yun. Ang PICOS ho parang bahay. may front door ho siya. Sabi ho ng batas, itong 4 na front door, ilock mo yan palagi. Ito yung digital signature, yung UV lamp, yung voter verification, yung resibo, at yung source code review. So, sabi ng batas, ilock mo yan, 4 na door lock na yan palagi ha. Ang ginawa ho ng COMELEC, inopen ho yung isa-isa. Para ho, pag eleksyon, open ho yung door. So yung operator, papasok doon kasi open ang door, walang lock eh. Pagpasok, nanakawin ng boto, lalabas, isasara ang pintuan. Dahil walang forcible entry, sasabihin natin walang daya.
Walang nakaw.
Oh, pero naubos na yung boto mo sa loob, nanakaw na. Yun, that's the basic portrayal of these 4 security features. 4 na door lock, tinanggal ng COMELEC isa-isa para madaling mapasok ng mandaraya.
No forcible entry.
Natatanda ko kasi nun, may binoto kong kapatiran, hindi nag-reflect mo sa presinto.
Sige, may dadagdag daw siya.
Yung pagkapon na yun, gamit ng kikinapon yan by not printing it out. Kasi dapat lalabas yan sa isang thermal paper.
Precisely.
Ang ginawa, parang toilet paper yung thermal paper natin. Napakahaba ba, umaabot ng 3 meters, 4 meters. Malalaman mo yung resulta ng binoto mo, siguro closing of voting hours na and wala ng tao. At least man dapat ang ginawa ng Smartmatic, display sa screen yung binoto mo. Kung ayaw magbigay ng paper, at least i-display sa screen.
Mas maganda may resibo para kung may mga puprotesta, malilikom yun at di makikita.
Ang rason naman kasi ng COMELEC kasi bawal po yung ebidensya na pinutol ka dito kasi baka po bayik yun. Yun ang kanilang palusot.
Maganda rin yung intention.
Oo, may intensyon. Pero wala pa rin verification kung ikaw yung botante na malalaman mo kung yung boto mo ka nabilang nga o hindi. Para guys, kasabi mo sa ATM, pero kung sa ibang botante, di ba yung mga binoto mo, tama ba o mali? Pag mali, i-check mo. Hindi binila nung PICOS yung boto ko dahil hindi naman binoto ko. So walang option yung botante na i-reject. Kaya tinatanggap na lang ng makina yung balota.
Okay, yung sinasabi ni Tote, yun na, tama naman yung sinabi ng COMELEC na kung may papel nga doon, may resibo, pagka dadalhin mo sa labas, ipakita mo doon, ito yung binoto ko, sana yung pera ko. That's a valid reason. But we can do away with that. Meron tayong maraming yellow old box. Lagay mo sa gilid. Pag tingin ng botante, satisfied siya, ipasok mo doon sa yellow box. Prior to the transmission of the results, bigay mo yan sa accredited group sa labas. You count it manually. Then paglabas ng resulta, kukumpare natin. There you have transparency.
Hindi, matagal daw yun.
Hindi naman lahat ng pangalan eh. Yung senador, hindi na kailangan presidente, vice-presidente, congressman, governor, mayor. Ito yung mandaya eh. Pero yung mga collegial, hindi na.
Alright. Do we have a question from the floor?
If,
Yes, sige po. Sandali.
sa question, kung meron ba kami vested interest, sabi po, mentioned by Toti, wala ko kami vested interest dito. In fact, kami po sa Philippine Computer Society, mga officers, were members of the technical working group who crafted the Senate bill for RA 9369. Kami po yung gumawa ng batas. Kami po nag-draft ng batas. Kaya alam mo namin yung detalye. Kailangan meron yung source code review, meron yung digital signatures, may lilipat yan, may random. Lahat po yun, yung mga safety measures na yun, galing po yun sa Philippine Computer Society na inadapt po ng Kongreso. Kaya kami po, wala kaming vested interest. Ang gusto po namin sa Philippine Computer Society, magkaroon po ng transparent, secure elections, specifically for this forthcoming 2016 elections. Wala ko kami vested interest yan. Kami po, nagkaroon ng batas para sa 9369. In fact, COMELEC, 8 years ago, they haven't prepared the implementing rules and regulation of RA 9369. Section 37 of RA 9369, it was stipulated therein that the rules and regulations should be promulgated by COMELEC.
Not yet.
Until now, none. Nada.
Pero, nakapun eh. Maganda yung batas niyo eh. Kinapun eh. Oh, anyway.
Kasi yung batas na yun, mahirap madaya kung talagang susundin mo yung batas.
Okay. So, hindi mo naman i-impeach yung mga gusto mong i-impeach dahil mag-retire. Ano problema? Questions from the floor, please.
Siya muna bago.
Sige. Then we have another question from the other side, please.
Ako nga pala si Mr. Jimmy Nasaka, representing the Blas Oakley Training Policy Center and OFW sa Riyadh. Actually, member din kami ng Philippine Computer Society, ang COMSOPIL, Computer Society of Filipinos, which is an awardee of the Philippine Presidential Banat Award, just 2010. So I am the 2009 President of the COMSOPIL, and now I'm running the Data Field, also a member of Philippine Computer Society in Riyadh. So you can check that one, sir, in your... Okay. Now, ang tanong ko is, bakit kailangan natin mag-spend ng 300 million para sa maintenance ng Picos machine?
Picos machine.
Picos machine. Okay. Ang machine naman is, hindi naman yan ginagamit natin for a longer period of time. Ginagamit lang natin for election purposes. So, bakit kailangan natin i-maintenance pa yan? So, nakita ko kasi as an electrical electronics computer practitioner, at the same time, a renewable energy practitioner, nakita ko kasi na yung Picos machine is talagang mayroong focus doon. Kasi naka-ano na yan eh, pwede natin i-program. As a computer expert, kahit burahin pa natin yung naka-program na yan ng 10 times, I can
Pwede ibalik.
open.
Wala ko, baka hindi ka lang balik sa Pilipinas niya. Baka may kumuha na sa'yo. So, ang question is, tama ba yung 300 million?
Bakit kailangan pa natin magastos ng 300 million?
In the first place, bakit ba i-maintain pa yan? Hindi ba dapat bumili na lang ng bago dahil outmoded na yan?
Tama na yan, Beth. Dapat yun. I-jump na yung Picos machines na yun.
Pangalawa,
Actually, ang useful life ng computers, laptops, 3 years. Kami sa bako na, dinodonate na namin yan after 3 years. Yung mga servers, 5 years. Magsi 6 years na yan by 2016. Mas marami pa magiging problema may encounter tayo by that time. Hindi lang sa obsolete yun.
Okay. Another question para kay Bishop. Bishop, bakit hindi na kailangan pa natin ng mga bidders coming from outside? Mayroon naman tayong mga Filipino expert sa Philippine Computer Society. Marami tayong Filipino na pwede mag-create ng program para sa clean election. So walang magiging focus sa election.
Thank you.
Kaya nga talaga sabi natin, bago pa mag-election, yung may ginawa tayo Filipino for Filipino, ano yun? Traffic for E na ginawa natin. At alam ko, nandun din si Brillantes nung simula pa lang siya. No? Ewan ko lang, ba't hindi nila kinuha yung wala na may Filipino expertise naman tayo?
Actually, si Chairman Brillantes was not yet confirmed at that time, noong 2011. So, kami nila Bishop Padilla sa University of the Philippines, nilaunch namin yung Filipino item for election. Pumayag si Chairman Brillantes, susuportahan namin yan, yung Filipino made technology. Pero nung na-confirm, wala na po. Pero naman kasi
Okay, so baka nagkaroon ng amnesia. We'll give it to you.
Sandali lang, can you refrain from questions at the comment? Wala rin eh. Wala comment dito.
Sige.
By the way, yung canvassing and consolidation system, meron hong ginawa si former Gaslagman, Comelec Commissioner Gaslagman, doon sa Comelec. And the Comelec only spent 600 million for that CCS. 600,000, sorry. And anong nangyari doon sa Develop? Kasi kumuha rin ng programmer from the Department of Science and Technology at saka sa internal IT department. At nagawa nila at nakatakbo. Pero na pinipresent na ni former Comelec Commissioner Gaslagman sa EDMA, o ito, pwede na natin gamitin ito sa 2030, tumatakbo ito, Filipino made ito. Ano sabi nung alim? Hindi pwede. Wala naman sa batas na kailangan gumamit ka ng bago na hindi pa tested. So kailangan na gamitin natin na CCS. Yun na test na. So, sayang din yun. Pero kami sa 2016, maganda sana kung magamit natin yung develop ni former public commissioner sa 2016. I-test lang muna natin para makita natin kung talagang tumatakbo yun. Pero kami naniniwala, yun from the heart, at talagang yun bibigay ng magandang resulta para sa bayan.
Thank you.
Thank you for your indulgence, gentlemen. Pero may question po ako kay Bishop, and then another one to the whole group. Bishop, thank you for your communication sa COMELEC. Pero ang tanong ko po, hindi ba more than 100 ang bishops? Bakit po 25 lang kayong nakapirma? At saka ano po yung konteksto ng pagkakalabas ninyo ng sulat na yan? That's my question to you. Kasi po, isang panukala din, perhaps you man, yung pong posibilidad na magkaroon ng pastoral letter na babasahin sa simbahan para ilabas ang posisyon ng simbahan tungkol sa mga usapin ito, nang yung mga tao ay mabigyan talaga ng awareness, katulad ng ginagawa natin pagka nananalangin tayo tuwing linggo, binabasa yung mga prayers o di kaya yung mga concerns. Kasi isa sa mga gusto natin ipaalam sa tao ay yung posisyon ng ating mga moral leaders. Ngayon po, so the rest of the gentlemen, ano naman po, yun din, mula sa transmission kasi ng technical experts at computer experts, mula sa boto na bibilangin upang hindi madaya o maging transparent at sana yung mga watchdogs na dapat na italaga at mag-apply na magiging watchdogs ay talaga maging tunay na watchdogs at hindi lapdogs.
Yung sa akin, nagmamadali kasi kami. Kasi binigay sa akin yan mga Lunes na. So, Martes, ginawa yung sulat. So, yan lang yung nalapitan ko. But I'm sure if I had enough time, maraming magpipirma dyan. In fact yan, konti lang yan, umikot mo siya, tapos na, yung binigay ka agad. Kasi gusto sana namin mahabol yung bank na bigyan ng COMELEC. Kasi natatakot kami, baka apubahan na kagad. No? Tapos yung tungkol sa pastoral letter para sa lahat, yan po hindi namin magagawa. Kasi yan ay dapat gawin lang ng either permanent council ng CBCP na nami-meeting pa yan sa April, no, na para gawin yun. No? Pero hindi po, hindi ko pwedeng gawin yan. No? Dapat yan ay pag-meetingan pa. No? So wala nang time para dyan.
Pero may in-expect po kayong sagot mula sa COMELEC?
Ewan ko lang. Yan, may kami, ewan ko lang. Wala pa silang sinasabi sa amin. Binigay na sa kanila yan nung Biyernes yata.
Bishop, meron pong batas na pag hindi sumagot sa inyo, pwede niyo pasukan.
Yeah, 15 days. Yeah.
Ethical practices po yun. Unethical yan. Yes, please.
Ako po si Nick Elman ng Workers Alliance Against Corruption. Rinitigan nun sa tanong ni Mr. Acuña, sa tanong mo kanina, at saka yung vested interest. No? Actually, kung titignan kasi natin ang kabuuan, hindi Pilipino lang ang may control nito eh. Para sa amin, no, sa mga nagawa, yung presence dito ng Smartmatic is a manifestation of foreign control. No, same thing that the election, since time immemorial, historically, has been manipulated by the foreign control. Bakit? Kasi gusto nila rito yung foreign policy, especially financial life, economic life, ng foreign power, ay manatili dito at makuha through election. So, kami invested interest dito. I believe that sa inyo dito, wala kayong vested interest yan. No, neither the Filipino people. Ngayon, ang may vested interest dito, ang foreign capital, no? Yung Smartmatic and other. So ako, gusto ko lang sanang itanong, no? Paano nyo titignan yung presence and control dito ng foreign capital? Yun lang po. Thank you.
Alright. Apel, foreign capital sa election. Let's be more candid about it. Let's ask the lawyers and our responsible resource persons. With the coming issues on the South China Sea and the business we have with China and America and some other countries, do you think these countries would play a role come 2016?
Yeah. Actually, if we recall back for 2010, hindi pa tapos yung bilangan at meron pa mga issue yung tungkol sa mga results na generate. We saw on the papers na pumasok si then US Ambassador to the Philippines,
Harry Thomas.
And we figured medyo, kami sabi, improper. Bakit niya pupuntahan at i-congratulate? We're going to question the accuracy and legitimacy of the results. Pero bago kami naman, naunahan na kami. So, why is there a foreign dignitary approaching, congratulating a presidential candidate that is not yet been proclaimed? Which raises suspicion if there is such, an invisible hand trying to dominate our sovereignty. That is not remote. And then later on, nakita na natin yung mga progresibo na Spratly was being taken over by China, etc. As the events took place later on forward run, alam din natin, not very long after the election, nagkaroon ng stand sa Green Grandstand. How many foreign nationals were eliminated? About 8 Chinese nationals. So probably that's a retaliation with the Chinese government, because the Chinese government was just requesting for an apology. So even yung ating present administration, the way they're responding to foreign issues doesn't seem to be coinciding to what is the general language. Parang nakakaano lang tayo, napapasubok na lang tayo. And I don't know whether the person sitting in the office of the president is qualified to be representing the Filipino people.
Okay, it's another case. Yes, please.
Good morning. I'm Dr. Gigi Peralta, Secretary General of the Anti-Chapo Movement of the Philippines and member of Huwag Kang Magnakaw Movement na convener ko ang two institutions ito under NCOMELEC Green Coalition. Maraming salamat po, Bishop Pabilio, nare-recognize niyo po ang aming effort sa 10-day camp out dyan. Actually, ako po ay natutulog ng 20 ko na sa gabi. Together with my husband, Caleon Peralta. Maraming salamat din po sa paghihikayat ninyo sa mga media para po mabigyan naman po kami ng pansin na nandiyan po kami. I would like to address this question po sa ating kagalang-galang na former Congressman Glenn Chong. Sir, earlier na-mention niyo po ang tungkol sa Louis Vuitton boy at saka si Louis Vuitton lady. Sir,
yes,
pwede po bang ibulong niyo sa akin? Tayo lang naman po ang nandito. Para po, paki-expound niyo po ang tungkol po sa Louis Vuitton bag na yan. Salamat.
Everything is on the record. There is no such thing as ibubulong.
Nung sa DCMM, tinanong ako, nung Saturday, thank you, ma'am. Tinanong ako ni Henry Umaga Diaz kung under what circumstances ba yung bayaran doon sa Northern Luzon that I was talking about. So, sinabi ko siya na the lady was explaining to me na yung 27,850,000 na binayad niya. Kasi nga ho, tatakbo siyang governor. 50 million ho yung price sa kanya. Yung anak ko niya, 15 million, tumakbong mayor. So, 50 plus 15 is 65 million. Yun yung total price ng contract nila for the two offices, governor at mayor. Ang kalakaran 50% down payment, 50% discount, at 50% upon proclamation. Di 65 million, 50% is 32,500,000. Yung pumasa ko doon sa Louis Vuitton, natandaan ko yung Louis Vuitton na bag kasi nasa kote siya sa airport Tinanong pa siya, ma'am, ano ho kayo? OFW? Kasi ang mga OFW daw, pag lumating dito, may perang dala doon sa bag. Yung mga pinapadala doon sa labas, hindi dumadaan sa courier. Kaya napagkamalan siyang OFW. Hindi ko man limutan yung Louis Vuitton bag. Ang laman is 27,850,000. Kulang ho yun sa 32,500,000 na 50% down payment.
Ba't kulang po?
Kasi kulang na nga rin ho yung kwarta niya, pera niya. Tapos yun lang talagang laman ng Louis Vuitton. Nung sinabi ko ho itong Louis Vuitton lady, i-confirm naman ni James Jimenez. Sinabi niya, mukhang kilala ko yan O di nga pala, kilala mo pala si Louis Vuitton lady. Why didn't you investigate? Yung sabi niya, pumunta yan nun sa office namin, pero hindi na bumalik. Sa pagkakaalam ko, ang nagbigay ko ng at least with respect to the Louis Vuitton bag and the Louis Vuitton lady, kinonfirm yan ni James Jimenez. Alam pala nila yun. So hindi ako nagsisinungaling. Including the amount. Now, alam ko, sa pagkakaalam ko, ang tumanggap sa kabilang side, si Louis Vuitton boy. Kasi alam ko, boy ang tumanggap eh.
Pwede niyo po bang kilalanin itong Louis Vuitton boy at Louis Vuitton lady?
Meron ng constitutional provision against self-incrimination.
Kaya sinabi ko kay Leo Maga Diaz, the proper forum would be this hearing ngayong February 5 sa Senate. If they will require me to answer, I will name all those names, including the one na kumausap sa akin for Boy Brillantes ng 2013 elections. Plus meron din nung kaming ipapakita na itong nung mga balota, yung mga ballot images na pinakita nila sa amin noong December 12 to 15 dyan sa Comelec Intramuros, may picture ko ako sa 13 laptops na inopen nila all together. Pagdating ko doon, pagtingin ko sa ballot images, I know, peke yun lahat. Umalis na ako, hindi na ako bumalik. Di ba sinabi ko sa iyo, huwag ka na bumalik dyan, peke yan. Gagamitin lang tayo. Sa February 5, ilalahat namin yung ebidensya that it is Comelec actually faking these ballot images. Sila ang gumagawa ng mga faking ballot images.
Thank you very much. Alright.
Sir, meron na ako itagdag yung sa sinabi kanina. Kung with respect to the different foreign interests controlling us, may sa tingin ko dalawa ho yung mode of negotiation. Pwede hong ideological, issue-based tayo, like ako, like palagay na rin ako for the Chinese government, kausapin ko si Nel for the Philippine government. Ganito, di ba, sa eleksyon, pwede tayong ideology-based, yung issue sa pag-usapan natin, o pwede hong pera-pera din. Kung pikos ang gagamitin, mas malamang pera-pera ang kalakaran. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, Bishop, pasensya na ha, when money talks, even angels listen.
Masaya yan.
Good morning, my name is Bel Cunanan. I used to be...
Welcome back.
I used to be Inquirer columnist for 25 years, and now I'm in the blog, I'm in Facebook. Alam niyo po, I would like to address my remarks to Bishop Papilio, Your Grace. Kagabi po, when I saw this list of 25 names, Bishop's signatures on that petition to stop the enforcement of this contract between Smartmatic and Comelec on the ground that these two, that the chairman of the Comelec is already 1 week away from retirement, and so they are asking that the decision be left to the incoming officers. So we were all rejoicing, Bishop, and I quickly, bago ako matulog, sinigurado ko na lumabas yung little post ko sa Facebook about that I called it a very happy development dahil alam niya na nagkakapaw kami sa Intramuros, and this is like a ray of sunshine, you know, for us. Now, immediately, Bishop, mga siguro 2 minutes bago pakatapos lumabas yung maiksi kong post, meron ng mga tanong. Isa si Joey De Vela, sabi niya, Tita Bel, meron bang pumirma na ba si, as you can expect, Cardinal Tagle and Archbishop Villegas? Sabi ko, Joey, mukhang hindi, this is strictly limited to the bishops only. The bishops are the vanguards of the church. Mukhang yung higher ups, hindi pa nakakaintindi sa mga listahan na ito. Perhaps, papuntan sila doon. And I cannot imagine that the hierarchy, the higher ups of the CBCP will not be in communion with the vanguards of the church, meaning the officials on the ground, the respective bishops. Bishop Papilio, ano nyo nga po, bakit daw po wala pa hanggang ngayong resolution ang CBCP on a matter as life-threatening as this issue. Wala na po yata pinakamatinding issue sa bansa ngayon kundi ito eh. Dahil malapit na po yung election, a year to go.
Alam niyo po, hindi naging bahagi ito ng agenda namin. Kasi yung mga agenda, naset na yan ng mga October pa. No? Kaya hindi ito naging bahagi ng agenda namin. Kaya ito, ang mapapapapirma nito, yung malalapitan ko na ng mga opinion, sabi kanina nagmamadali kami kasi gusto namin mahabol sana na bago sila mag-desisyon, mailabas yung kwan. Kaya yung nakuha mula ng mga obispo, yan ang naibigay namin. No, but it was not discussed.
Imagine po kung na-discuss ito ilang araw, siguro the whole CBCP would be included already there. Dahil 25 naman yung last minute ulit.
Kaya kung may time pa sana kung may ikot sa mas marami pa dyan, I'm sure. Kasi yung mga nilapitan ko, mabilis sila pumirma. Ibig sabihin, alam nila yung
Yes. So ano po ang pwede natin masabi sa ating mga mamamayan? Dadating pa po ba yun? Yung araw na makita natin yung buong CBCP from the highest official now is, aside from Archbishop Villegas who's the president, then you have the two cardinals. No?
Ay, ang problema, yung meeting naman, next meeting namin, July na naman yan eh. No, bago pag-usapan.
Wala po bang emergency, such a thing as an emergency meeting? Yes.
Thank you very much. Salamat po. Okay. Mga kaibigan, hanggang dito na po lamang ang ating pagtatanghal. How I wish we had more time, but we thank you for being with us dito sa Tapatan sa Aristocrat. I'd like to thank Nandi for the hospitality. Maganda po itong sandwich natin ngayon at ang topic at ang kape walang humpay. So maraming salamat po hanggang sa susunod na edisyon ng ating Tapatan sa Aristocrat. Have a nice time.
Eric Swantian. Oda.